we don't exactly know always why are these poems being written? Who are these poems being told to? Like, we don't have the clearest fact of, like, is this just a random scribe writing something about the girl he likes? Or is this something that is being passed down and that these scribes are writing down these, like, poetry, like, these pieces? It's very vague. We don't really know how all of these sort of are getting, like, connected and why they're being written and why they're being used. And it's similar to literature stories as well, is that we don't really have a lot of info to actually tell you, like, okay, this is a poetry book somebody worked on, and we don't have names of any of these poets. Like all of this is very vague. That's the other thing I wanted to say. So this is from a specific actually exhibit that was at the Met. Niamh Alon and Diana Craig Patch, they still work at the Met. I've met Niamh Alon. He wrote a really good book about ancient Egyptian scribes, if you ever want to learn about it. And then my professor forced me to meet him at a conference and tell him that I read the book, and then I had nothing else to say to him, and then I walked away, and she got really mad at me, let's just say, because she literally forced me to talk to this person, and I'm like, I don't know what you wanted me to say. And then Diana Craig Patch, I think I can't remember if she's a curator and stuff. But this is a small little gallery, but around this giant sarcophagus that always sits here. And then right across the way from this is sort of in a weird hallway. Right across the way, you actually go down the stairs, and you actually see the only section of the Met's Costume Institute. It's a very small gallery that's, like, hidden underneath the Egyptian gallery. And so they did this small exhibit about ancient Egyptian poetry with some wall paintings associated with it. Yeah, there's usually other objects. Like, I don't know what's in this room now, but we'll read through this just to give us a little context, and then we'll read some of the actual the actual poems. So many ancient Egyptian, like people everywhere, wanted to find someone with whom they could happily share their lives. During the New Kingdom, and especially during the Ramesside period, around 1295 to 1070 BCE, scribes recorded a new form of literature that explored through poetry the nature of love from a personal and often explicit perspective. The subjects of the poems range from ardent descriptions of a beloved and the intoxication of love to the difficulties and challenges of pursuing a love interest, as well as illness caused by unrequited love. The words chosen to voice these concepts draw on the ancient Egyptian world, including flowers, fruits, and honey as comparisons to a woman's charms, or the physical dangers of crossing the Nile to express a lover's devotion to his beloved. Along with their secular themes, other poems invoke Hathor, the goddess of love and sexuality, to secure a lover's desire. These writings have consistent structure, using a formulaic style, simple construction, and parallel terms, or repetition, as literary devices, while their content communicates human empathy and creates settings that illuminate the time and place. These poems most likely had an oral existence and may well have been sung. Often recorded on papyrus, the poetry is also inscribed on fragments of stone or pottery called ostraca. The facsimiles in this exhibition, all copied from New Kingdom tomb decoration, have been selected because each gives expression to an image conveyed in the accompanying poem. If you don't know what a facsimile is, it is a painting of a tomb wall or relief or temple relief that essentially was made prior to the mass production of cameras and photography, and a lot of Egyptologists started their lives as facsimile artists. And like Howard Carter, he went to Egypt to become an artist, to help these excavations record the scenes that they see today. It's essentially somebody doing a still life, but it is meant to be extremely accurate, and it is also meant to not sugarcoat, like, the parts where paint are missing, or the parts where a beehive is sitting, or bat poop is on the wall. Like, it's meant to give an accurate thing. And so the Met has a massive collection of facsimile paintings. A lot of them are from Nina and Norman Daguerre's Davies, also just known as N. Daguerre's Davies, as well as a couple other people. And if you want to learn more about facsimile paintings, I have a whole lecture about it that's on my YouTube that you can watch. Yes, ostraca are very much regular things. They are very much they are these scrap pieces of like pottery and limestone, but they are also still used actively as like a recording device because papyrus is so expensive. So there is some sort of indication that ostraca were sort of kept in libraries, like they were sort of kept on a shelf or kept in a jar or a basket or something like that, because they were that important. Is this is Amenhotep, or no, this is Kenamun. This is a really cool image because you actually see a man with white hair. Yeah, so it's like a papyrus, but papyrus is 12 times more expensive. It is a place that artists and scribes can use as practice paper, but it does not mean that it's only used as practice paper. It is also used for recording actual taxes and stories, and half of the text that we have, probably over half of the text that we have from ancient Egypt come from ostraca and not papyri, because they survive longer. But yeah, this is a really cool. This is Kenamun and his wife, and you can see he's got white hair, and we have a couple images of men with white hair in ancient Egypt. So this is one poem. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. From Papyrus Chester Beatty in the Chester Beatty Library. So this is on a papyrus, which is cool, but a lot of these are going to be on ostraca. So, how knowing is my beloved in tossing the lasso, but she draws no cattle. Her hair is the lasso she tosses at me. With her eyes she beckons me. With her finery she binds me. Her ring is her brand. It's the word that Mark has written there. It's spelled with an O. Ostraca. So an ostraca is either a piece of broken limestone or a piece of broken pottery that somebody has written on or drawn on. And again, can be scratch paper, can be like the scribe just picks up this random piece of limestone and he's sketching something out, but it also can be a way of actually recording taxes and wills and documents and stories and stuff. Yeah, we'll watch that video in a little bit. I love this one. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Otto. Well, I'm glad I'm surprised, Mark, you've never heard that word before, but I guess it's really only used in the Near East and ancient Egypt. Senet is a game. I don't know what else is a sitter. What do you mean by a sitter? Sister? Oh, do you mean a sistrum? No, they don't really, I don't think really have things called ostraca. I feel like they sort of might be in Greece and Rome. Oh, the word senet does not mean sister. The word for sister is, oh no, wait, no, you're right. The word for sister is senet. Yeah, it's not this, it's the exact same phonetics, but it's different words. Let me pull up. I think you're right. I don't know the word for sister off the top of my head. Yeah, so sister, you're right, is senet. But then senet can also be flagstaff, and senet can also be the basis of statue, and senet is the festival of the 6th day of the lunar month, and sen means to smell perfume, to breathe air, and I'm also surprised the game is not in here. Yeah, so phonetics don't equal the same words. Because sen is brother. So sen is brother, and the T at the end is a female possessive like pronoun, so it makes it a sister. But senet, seni. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Senet comes from the word to pass. So the board game is like the game of passing. Here it is, senet. Up here. So yeah, there's so many more phonetics that don't equal the same thing, which is why you cannot base something off of the phonetic sound of it. You have to base it off of the actual hieroglyphs. So this is the determinative that shows a senet board. So yeah, this is all depending on all of the glyphs, because you can see that the glyphs are still very different. So this is a triliteral that spells senet. This is the N, the T, that is monoliteral. It makes one sound, but it's reassuring the sound that's on that piece. And then the woman at the end tells us that it's a girl, versus this one for sen, which has a boy. So yeah, this is why you can't judge an ancient Egyptian word by the phonetic, because just like in English, there are a million words with the exact same phonetic sound, but it's based off the glyphs. Like somebody tried to send me something with only this, which is what we call the transliteration. And I was like, you can't send me something with a transliteration. I need to see the glyphs, because it could be a bajillion words. But yes, you are right. Determinative. It helps you determine what the word means. So this is a decorated doorway in, this looks like an Old Kingdom tomb. Nope, I'm wrong. This is, this is Piu Mer. This is in Sheikh Abd al-Qurna. This is a beautiful, beautiful doorway. But this is by Norman Daguerre's Davies. Hey man, I can't write. So this one says, this is also from Papyrus Chester Beatty, which I think is one of the big papyri that has a lot of these poems. So this one says, I passed by his house, finding its door open. My beloved stands beside his mother, his siblings all around him. He looks at me as I pass, but I alone rejoice. Had his mother known my heart, she would have gone inside for a moment. O golden one, put that in her heart, so that I may hurry to my beloved and kiss him before his companions. That's okay, Vixie. That's what this is for. Absolutely. I like this one because it's in a female's perspective, which I think is cool. So it's stands beside his mother, his siblings all around him. Had his mother known my heart, she would have gone inside for a moment. So it's like if his mother knew how much I loved him, she would have maybe stepped aside, maybe he would have gone aside, and then I could have run up and kissed him. I think these give a very, very good look into what it was like to actually be ancient Egyptian. More so than a lot of the stories, more so than a lot of the texts that we have. I think these are very real feelings and real scenarios, sort of. So this is also New Kingdom tomb. Oh, this is the tomb of Mena. Yeah, the tomb of Mena is a nice one by Nina Daguerre's Davis. This beautiful, lovely woman, and she's got her, what's it called? Should I wear it for the stream? I don't know if it'll balance on my head, but we can try. Yeah, so that's what that poem sort of implies, that yes, maybe you wouldn't kiss somebody in front of their mother. I never made a strap for this, so it's never, I have to really balance it on my head if I want to wear it. But yeah, that's like, that gives us a great insight that like maybe we wouldn't have gotten from anything in particular. No other text would have sort of given us that insight of like, oh, maybe it's inappropriate for ancient Egyptians to kiss in front of their mother when they're not married. Who knows? So this is from an ostracon. I keep forgetting to tell you, ostraca is plural, ostracon is singular, and I always do it wrong. I don't know, Mark. I gotta figure that out. I gotta get all this stuff done. I gotta get so much stuff done before I can like move on to another task. because I have so many tasks that are due like soon, sort of, if that makes sense. So next week I'll like, I still don't have a hotel for the end of this month for going to Philly. So there's so many things I need to do before I even talk about that. But I'll chat with you. I have to make another video for TikTok about, no, that's not that bad at all, actually. It's probably not one way, right? Or it's probably not, you probably have a layover, right? Okay. So yeah, so Ostracon is singular and Ostraca is plural. The love of my beloved is there on the other side. The river swallows my body. Noon, otherwise known as the flood, is strong in this season, and a crocodile is waiting on the sandbank. Still, I go down to the water, wading through the waves. The crocodile, I find, is like a mouse. The flood waters like land under my feet. It is her love that makes me strong. So she will cast a water spell for me, and I will see the one whom my heart loves standing right before me. I think this is personally one of my favorite ones. Philly trip is the last weekend of April, so I still need to get a hotel for that. Oh, you don't want to go to Riyadh. I don't know. I know that I can get a direct flight to Cairo from where I am. I don't know if I would, because that's just such a long flight. I am highly considering getting a business class seat. Like, I'm highly considering getting a nicer chair, like, seat than normally, because I just don't, the older I have gotten. Oh, please don't break. Oh, please don't break. It didn't break. We're good. We're good. Oh, it smells so good. It's solid. I just gotta make a strap for that so that it fits on my head. Yeah, I've been thinking about it just because I can't really do well on long haul flights. I know it can get expensed, exactly. So that's why that's the only reason I'm thinking about it, is that it can be expensed, and MelissainDeNile is doing fairly well that I think I can't afford it. Or maybe at least one way. Maybe I can't do it both ways, but I could do it one way. But yeah, I know I can get a direct flight, but I also, like, it wouldn't be too bad to, like, actually go to, whoa, that's way too much money for business class. Maybe that's too much money. I also say this without knowing actually what the prices for business class are. Maybe I could do Comfort Plus or something. Yeah, I gotta look into all of that. Yeah, 4,500
Nile is a river in Egypt.
That is too much. Hello, Dash. Welcome on in. Look, it's a dog. This is one of my dogs. This is in. Ooh, you know what? I actually think I know. This is gonna be a test. It's gonna be a test. I think this is in the tomb of Khnumhotep. Oh, dang it! It's a Nenni. I should have known. I always know a Nenni. Yeah, this is a painting of the tomb. Yes, I did. So I thought this was Khnumhotep, but this is a Nenni. So I should have known all of these are New Kingdom. Khnumhotep's is not New Kingdom. So I should have recognized this is a New Kingdom dog. But yeah, this is in a larger hunting scene. This is a hyena. Or an African wild dog. No, it's probably a hyena. But yes, I do. All right. This one is also from Piers Chester Beatty the First. Would that you come to your beloved swiftly as a gazelle, leaping across the desert, its legs racing, its limbs weary, its body riddled with fear. The hunter is beside it, a dog at its side. but they cannot even see its dust. That's so cool. That's cool. That's cool, Mark. Yeah, so this is a tomb usurped by Indeni in Sheikh Abed el-Qurna. This is from the tomb of Userhat. Somehow I missed that Charles K. Wilkinson. I don't think I included him in my talk about facsimile painters. So, would that you come to your beloved swiftly as the king's horse, thoroughbred among all steeds, the champion of the stable, cosseted in its feet, I don't know what that word means, whose sovereign recognizes its pace. Hearing the crack of a whip, it cannot be held back. No warrior can subdue it. How knowing is the heart of the beloved that he is not far from his beloved. It's an interesting one. I don't know what this word means. The other thing is that horses, we obviously know, did not appear until after the Hyksos, like after the second intermediate period. So we definitely know that this one dates to after that point. There was once a pharaoh named Tut who had a golden chair for his butt. He married his sister. I'm sure that he kissed her. And modern people all say what? Silver, did you just make that up or did you find that somewhere? Because that's amazing. That's a really good one. You made that up? You gotta post that somewhere. That's a pretty good one. Limericks are fun. I like limericks a lot. They just have a lovely pace. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I find that like the poetry that I like are ones that have a nice pace to it, and so limericks have that a little bit of a faster, upbeat pace that you don't expect from a lot of poetry, and so like they're really good. So we know that for the most part, horses are not really depicted in ancient Egypt until after the third intermediate period. We don't really have any sort of depictions of horses. We don't have depictions of chariots because neither of these things really existed in Egypt. And yes, they did probably knew about it, but the domestication of the horse is sort of happening elsewhere, and the inventions of the chariots are happening elsewhere. And so they appear in the third intermediate period into the New Kingdom, which is when people from the Levant are bringing them over to Egypt for the first time. No problem, Dash. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. Yeah, they're very whimsy. I love that word, whimsy. Yeah, they're very cool. So this is from the tomb of Senenmut. This is obviously a Hathor image. It's interesting. They are all kind of different. They don't look exactly the same. Yeah, horses got domesticated really late, and it's mostly because they just weren't as widespread as some of the other animals. Yes, they did have foxes. I don't know the specifics, but they did have foxes. They're not depicted a ton, but they are depicted sometimes in larger hunting scenes. No, 2200. Mark, you should use my timeline. Timeline. Yeah, no, that's first intermediate. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, that's Old Kingdom. Yeah. I keep forgetting if the times come before or after the word. So yeah, it's late Old Kingdom. Yeah. Not a lot. They did have some donkeys. I haven't seen a lot of depictions of people riding donkeys. I've definitely seen depictions of them carting things, like pulling things, and cattle pulling things, but I know if anybody wants to help me figure out how to make that look clearer, I had to type that up like that. I don't know what it would make it clearer. if you guys would rather I do colons, I don't know. Tell me, I made that, so tell me how to fix it and I can try to. The problem is I want it to be entered, but there's no way to make that happen. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. With maybe it'll work when I switch over to Mix It Up Bot, which I just downloaded Mix It Up Bot, so that was like sort of it's coming, but I have other things that need to get done before that. But I guess I could make it a graphic. The only thing is that it would have to pop up on the screen, and it wouldn't be able to stay there the whole time. I could link a picture of it. That is true. I'll think about it. I'll think about how we can try to fix it, make it look nicer. This one is also from Papyrus Trusty Beatty. And this one says, "My beloved stirs my heart with his voice. He causes illness to seize me. My mother is right in commanding me, quote, avoid seeing him, end quote. But my heart is smitten by his memory. My love for him has seized me. Look, he is a fool, but I am just like him. He does not know my desire to embrace him. He does not send word to my mother. Oh, my beloved, I am destined for you by the goddess of women." I like that one. That one's very fun. The implication that I'm I'm ill because I love him so much is so fascinating to think that the ancient Egyptians also had that concept. And that the mother is right in commanding me. Avoid seeing him is so interesting. This is from the tomb of Nebamoon. It's a nice little painting. So it's a man in front of a false door, possibly in a tomb. Also from Papyrus Chesty Beatty. Honestly, I want to see if I maybe can find. Hi Anna, how are you? How's the archaeology going? We're talking about reading out some ancient Egyptian love poetry tonight. And then just answering questions. Long time no see. Archaeology treating you well? It's getting hot. It's probably getting hot. For 7 days I have not seen my beloved. Illness has overcome me. If the chief physicians came to me, my heart would not respond to their remedies. Even the lector priests could not find the way. My illness is not diagnosed. The one who tells me, look, it is she, is the one who will revive me. Her name is what will cure me. My beloved is more beneficial for me than any remedy. I see her and I become healthy. She opens her eyes, my limbs are young. She speaks, I am strong. I hug her, she drives evil away from me. But 7 days ago, she left me. Ah! Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. That's gonna be Senate. It's not really like chess, but it's similar. I know. Very sad. She left him 7 days ago, and now he's so sick. Also, I didn't know they had a word for hug. This is why I need to go find the actual translation so that I can see what that ancient Egyptian word is. I love my husband, but if I go a week, I'm not sure if I'll be ill. Well, here's the fun thing is that none of these poems talk about husband and wife. They all talk about like love, which like I take it as implying of like first love and like love that has not like made into a marriage. And granted, we don't know a lot about let's see what the dictionary says. We don't know a lot about ancient Egyptian marriages. There's no word. Did you just like Google that, Mark? There's no word in Middle Egyptian. Oh, embrace. See, this is the problem. Yes, it might be. Is there embrace? Yes. Sehen. And look, it's the little two hands. That's actually cute. But it also can mean to seek out, to meet, or to occupy a place. But there's also Kenny. Kenny also can mean the bosom of a mother. That's so funny. There's also, Inek, which also means to unite the two lands, to collect or gather together, but it's a coming together of people. And Hepet also can mean armful, while she casts herself on your breast, while she embraces on your breast. Interesting. And then Henut Awi can also mean embrace as a noun. Well, isn't that fun? We just learned the word for hug. So we do not 100% know what they thought about queer and homosexual relationships, because that is a modern social construct in our world. We do not have a lot of writings that talk about it. We have very, very little. And so we just really don't know. We don't have a lot of evidence that they ever condemned it or anything, but we don't have a lot of evidence that they accepted it or they had that concept at all. The evidence that we do have is very circumstantial and is very hard to determine what it actually is. Any words in ancient Egyptian language that are glaringly missing? Oh my God. I know that there are, but I can't think of anything on the top of my head. I know I have searched. Is that A Little Gay History? Or is that something else? A Little Gay History is a book that I would definitely recommend. It talks about all kind of parts of like homosexuality in Egypt. And like, I will admit, I am not the most well versed on it, but I am also an extremely cautious person when it comes to identity and these like social constructs that I can't say yes or no. Like, I don't think we have any evidence to say 100% yes and 100% no, because of mainly because of like sort of ethnocentrism and like not wanting to put our personal social constructs that exist in our world onto the ancient world. So I am always a very cautious person of that, just because I don't know the way we do it. But yeah, there's also a book called A Little Gay History. So that's queering sex and gender. I probably need that book. I do want to do a little bit more research on it. In general, I don't like talking about it like on a video standpoint, just because I'm nervous of haters. But yes, the two people who shared the tomb, they were both equally married and had kids with their wives. So I would love to, Mark, but I'm terrified of people. There are certain topics that I just don't talk about, and then I string that boundary, and that is one of those topics, because I know, but I can't do it all the time. Sometimes there are certain topics that we can talk about the nuances of all of this. I can't fit all of those nuances into a 3-minute video. I just can't. There's just no way to fit it all together. And so I always leave it to the possibilities, but it's the same thing with race. It's the same thing with race. Race is a social construct that did not exist in ancient Egypt. And I cannot make videos about that because we will have so many people. And here's my thing, Mark, I can't talk about it on the internet. Other people, I feel, go for it, who do that research, can absolutely talk about it. I don't feel comfortable talking about it. All of my lectures are on Twitch, so there is totally the possibilities and stuff that like we could do a talk about it. I know we actually have we have the talk about it when we talk about the tomb of Khnum-Hotep and what's the other person? Khnum-Hotep and Nyankh-Khnum. The tomb mates, as we call them. We've had this discussion. We definitely have it as discussions. That's totally fine. We can talk about the nuance. I'm not I am not the biggest poster on ancient Egypt on TikTok, but thank you very much. Although he hasn't posted like in months, so I know, and I have to do things for Egyptology guy, but I realized only recently hasn't posted in months, but he has technically a bigger platform than I do. And there's actually a lot of other people. There's also, what's his name? He's got a huge platform, and I can't think of his name right now. There are other people. I have to just pick those topics that I just don't, I am not well versed on it enough to be able to, Hassan, that's who it is. Hassan, and then there is a French guy too, and he's been a little rude in my comments at one point. I don't know, I think he has less followers, but the Hassan has way more followers than I do, and he does really great videos. Oh, and there's also that independent Egyptologist. He doesn't have that big of a platform on TikTok, but he has a platform and other stuff. But yeah, so it's sort of one of those things with social constructs. I can't talk about it in that 3-minute video because nobody's going to watch the full 3-minute video, and they're just going to comment, and I don't feel comfortable bringing up things that I know I'm going to get hate for. And that is, the two big things are race and sexuality. And so that is the boundary I have created, and it's just, I am more than welcome to talk about it here on Twitch, but, again, it's just, I don't want to. I'm not comfortable doing it. It's just not, people don't watch the whole video. I literally got a comment the other day, like literally today, where they asked a question and then they replied to their own question saying, never mind, I didn't watch the full video. And I'm like, yeah, I have to give these boundaries because it will get to me, because I know it's already gotten to me. There are a lot of comments that get to me about things that are not about those. And unfortunately, things like that, my comment section would be awful, and I really cannot separate it. Unfortunately, I try my best, but I cannot. It's just something I have to read every single comment. I cannot move away from it. We might be, if I have the time to like do some more research, maybe I can. Like I could possibly do a lecture on it, but I would have to do like much more research than I typically do, because I would have to read like that book, and I'd have to read a couple articles and stuff. And so it's a harder topic because it's something that, again, it's very circumstantial. It's based on so many random artifacts and trying to piece those together, and that makes it impossible, in my opinion, to kind of get it. And I think that's because of my archaeological mind and stuff. Like my archaeological mind is that like, if it's not explicitly written down, we can always be wrong, and we really can't form an opinion about something, unless we like do a lot of research. Like we have to keep that open mind, and something like this is so hard to do. Good for you. You got someone else to deal with your comments. I've sometimes gotten y'all to, like, even the video, like even that horrible comment about my unkempt hair. That was not even on a video, anything about, like, that was just a personal jab at me. And it just, like, I can't win with those comments. Yeah, I know you did comment on that, Mark, but it's like, oh yeah, you didn't see that, Otto? It's on the Discord. I put a picture on it on social media Egyptology page. Some guy was commenting on how I looked. So it was a video of a stream. It wasn't even a TikTok video. It was a video of my stream, and he commented on the difference between the picture in my thumbnail and what I looked like in stream. And he was like, your picture and your thumbnail look so horrible. Your hair is unkempt. Like in your streams you put on makeup and stuff. Like, it's a full paragraph. You can go read it on the Discord. And the craziest thing about this is like, this makeup, lipstick, that's it. In the picture, no makeup either. And my unkempt hair, they did have no profile pic. Exactly. My profile pic with my unkempt hair, it's my natural curly hair. Like right now, My hair needs to be washed, like, desperately. It just cracks me up. Like, it cracks me up, and I dug the fuck into him. But again, like, it went from completely out of nowhere. Yeah, they said that they were, like, trying to help me be better, and I'm like, oh, crazy. Yeah, and he did start not to be rude, or I hope I don't offend you or something. No, it was absolutely not. It was a absolute asshole on the internet that then did I commented back, they replied to me, and then I commented again, and then they put a kissy emoji and I put a barf emoji. That's all I've seen. I don't think they've done past that. But yeah, so that is like, I get that on a daily on completely random videos that I don't prompt this. And so by making certain videos I know will prompt that, that is my boundary. That is my boundary. I'm not comfortable talking about it. And to be honest, I am not part of the LGBTQA plus community. I don't feel comfortable talking about like that in general. Like I'm not, Mark. Unless you're saying I'm an ally. But like, I don't know a lot about gay history. I mean, yeah, I know that. Like, but I don't know a lot about gay history. I don't know a lot about the LGBTQ struggles, and I don't have that personal connection. And so when I worked with all my friends last year and I did all of these like Pride Month events, I still felt very uncomfortable because I feel like I'm just not worthy enough to talk about it and stuff. But I know, and that's just a personal thing for me that I don't feel comfortable talking about it, because I think it's probably because of my past growing up in a Catholic school and being homophobic, like, because that's how I was raised in this school, and I think I feel ashamed of that, and so I don't think I deserve to be able to talk about it, unfortunately. Not too often. I've only been told to go back in the kitchen a couple times, and that was mainly on the video about the pseudo-archaeology underneath the pyramid. I felt like that was a badge of honor in a very weird way, because that had never really happened to me before. It doesn't happen too often. I do get personal insults, just not really about like misogyny. So yeah, there are just certain topics that I just don't feel comfortable talking about, and it will just make me clam up, and it'll make me embarrassed for a long time if I feel like I don't know stuff, or I don't have, there's just a lot. But yeah, read that book, read the Little Gay History. Yeah, we can try. Absolutely. I know I talked about this with somebody who does queer history, but doesn't do ancient history. Like, I have two friends who study queer history, but they don't study ancient Egypt history. One studies queer history in Mesopotamia, I think, or at least that's a small portion of it. Oh yeah, Addicted. Absolutely. There are plenty of videos that I'm like, I can't make that. I have had the question of homosexuality, and no, I think it's, I don't know how you spell shide, but I got what you mean. No, there's absolutely been videos that I just don't feel like making. Believe me, I actually have been thinking about making the one about the second Sphinx, but I'm terrified based on what happened with the other one. In Egypt, we just have no writing about it at all. Like, it obviously, when it comes to the one best example we have, which is Neank-Khnum and Khnumhotep's tomb, we don't know if they were like exclusively like lovers. Like, we have images of them kissing, but their wives are standing immediately behind them. Is that homosexuality? Is that polygamy? Like, what is that? Like, we don't know how that fits into what our social constructs of different types of sexuality is. And so they obviously were able to put them up in their tomb, and that meant that they were hiring architects, and they were hiring painters, and they were hiring scribes to create it. And their tomb doesn't, you takes them years. Well, that's the thing, is they have wives, they have children, and they're both sitting there next to them. And so it's like, they also had the exact same job in the palace. They essentially were like the butlers to the king. Unfortunately, it gets actually translated as hairdressers or makeup artists, but if it's for the king, it is like a right-hand man butler scenario. But they have the exact same job. So it's like, what is that? Like, it doesn't, there's so much extra to this. Valet, whatever. You know what I mean. But yeah, like we do know, yes, you're correct. We know that they had polygamy with one man and multiple wives, but then this is like, I actually didn't mean polygamy. I meant, no, I did mean poly. I meant poly. Thank you. Thank you. Haley! Oh my goodness. 62 months. I meant polyamory. That's exactly what I meant. Thank you. I was like, it's the one with the Y and the P. But yeah, so it's like, we don't even know any of this, really. My future job will be counting severed hands presented to the pharaoh. I love that. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So yeah, it's a whole big question mark. But hi, Haley, welcome on in. We are reading Ancient Egyptian love poetry. We just had a little discussion about the possibilities of ancient Egyptian homosexuality and such. But this is a sad poem, cause the girl left him, 7 days ago and he's sad. I hug her, she drives away evil from me, but 7 days ago she left me, which is so sad, but makes me kind of laugh at the same time. Oh, we have an ad break. Of course we do. I'm gonna get some corn nuts. I did finally get corn nuts. I need something salty. Let's scroll. We'll scroll to the next one. Nope, can't. I'm not typing. 10-8. Days. I hope you have been well, Haley. It's been a little chaotic, crazy town over here, but we're doing okay. Obviously, for the pharaoh, it was not frowned upon, but for other people, it might have been. There's the implications that it might have been. I'm working tomorrow, so I'm gonna say no, but I also don't celebrate Easter. But I'm not looking forward to how crazy it's gonna be tomorrow at the museum. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, baby. It is not a city holiday. I know, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I don't even get a PTO day. Oh no. My condolences, Addicted. Absolutely. I got 20 seconds left. Waiting for the time to be over. I want to eat this one. It's attached to another one. I wanted to eat this one. Can I break it? Oh no, I can't. I got my corn nuts. I finally, yeah. They don't have any other not normal corn nuts at Trader Joe's. The flavored ones I had to make. Yeah, no, we're eating normal corn nuts. So I work in a museum, or a series of museums, and like as it is, we're open every single holiday minus Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, I think those are the only 3 days of the year that we're not open. But even when we have like a holiday, so if we have like President's Day or Labor Day, I get 8 hours of PTO, like naturally, but our museum is still open that day. So I just take it another day. There are other flavored corn nuts, but that is from different companies. Trader Joe's only have Incan puffed corn snacks. They have no other flavors. Nope, we don't get time and a half. That is part of our job description because I work weekends and stuff. No, so my museums are all early American time period. So yeah, so I've worked Easter Sunday for a lot of days, for probably 3 years now, I think. And luckily we're only open 1 to 5, but we do get really busy with families who have like gone to church, then walked to go get brunch, and then come to the museum for the day. So, yeah, so we have, so we'll be open. I'm working tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think my next day off is Thursday. So I have a lot of things that need to get done before then. Yeah, tasting history is awesome. He's really cool. We don't have a lot of more explicit ancient Egyptian recipes, but we have some like clues, sort of. But yeah, so I don't work in anything ancient Egypt. This is MelissainDeNile is the way to. So yes and no, Vixie. To be honest, I'm very happy with my job right now as a museum educator. This is a long story. I'm stuck where I am, truly. I don't move. I don't want to move without a partner, and I am single as fuck. My entire family is here, pretty much, except like one aunt and uncle, and cousins. My entire support system. I have lived here my entire life. All of my elementary school friends are here. My high school friends. I've only worked at this job technically 3 years, 3 years full-time, 4 years, 1 year part-time, but I was an intern. I was a volunteer here. I was an intern here. And it's mainly like an archaeology museum. So I am very much integrated into it. It is the best paying museum educator job that I'm probably ever going to find because I work for city government. So I get a pension and I get like a retirement service that's in my state. I am also going to be a civil servant, which means eventually I can get my student loans forgiven. And although I don't get paid a lot, I get paid more than a museum educator typically does because most museum educators are part-time and not benefited. I would love to work in a museum with Egypt stuff. Most museums with Egypt stuff, I would have to, if I wanted to be a museum educator within it, I'd have to be an expert in a lot of different things. Many museum educators, like take for example the Met. You can't really be a museum educator in just the Egyptian department of the Met. You'd be a museum educator for the whole entire museum. And for a museum that big, typically you're not the person who's actually interacting with the public. You are going to be the person who is going to be planning school programs and tours and stuff like that. And that is not what I want to do. I do get to do that sometimes, but because our museums are small, I get to do so many things. So I get to work with the school program. Well, actually, that makes me think, do I have a school program this week? I gotta check that. I get to work immediately with the school. I get to go to schools. The schools get to come to me. I get to talk about archaeology with them, and I get to talk to guests at the museum. And I really do I work the register. I sell merchandise, but I get to talk to people about history in a lot of ways, which is very fulfilling. I do also make social media content with them, which is not I never expected to do it with this job, but I do. Hi Prime Outfitter, welcome on in. My big thing is that I'm not moving from this place unless I'm moving with somebody else, because at this point in my life, it's very hard for me to make friends. I am not a very outgoing social person. I obviously am doing a lot of MelissainDeNile stuff in all my free time. I don't have a lot of free time. So if I go to a new city, I'm not going to make any friends, and it's going to make me depressed. You guys are friends, and I'm glad I have you, because genuinely, when I do take weeks off where I'm not streaming, I do notice that my social battery, I feel unfulfilled. I feel oh shit, I haven't talked to my friends in a while, because you guys are a way to give me that. But I don't make friends unless at this point they're going to be work friends. And that's fine. Work friends are fine. I'm very glad with my friends that I have at work right now, because I am very close with a lot of my work friends. I just don't know how to make new friends anywhere. Besides that. Yeah, it would be great to work at the Met. It's also impossible. It's just genuinely, an archaeologist dating website. That would be so funny. But yeah, I would love to move to the UK. It's too far. The reason why I'm also stuck is that, even though I have a very good paying job, I'm full-time, I get all these benefits, I can't afford rent in this area. The only reason I have this apartment that I live in is because of my parents. And I'm not going to get the same, benefits or salary anywhere else. Yeah, the fun part is the Met only takes applications through LinkedIn, in which all you do is put in your very basic information, then you upload your CV, and that's it, because they get thousands and thousands of applications. So I would love to move abroad. I can't do it alone. I really just can't. It would be fun. And the thing is, I've never worked professionally as an archaeologist, so no one would hire me. I'm going to be very, very honest. No one would hire me as an archaeologist, because I've never been paid professionally to actually excavate. I don't really know what the difference between a phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 are. I sort of know the difference. I don't know the full difference, but I don't know the difference. Yeah, there are plenty of those. It's hard. It's just, believe me, I would love that. I would love to find any boyfriend, but you people take up too much of my time. I do have a master's degree, but it's in Egyptian art and archaeology. It is not in archaeology. But yeah, everything is here, and I'm genuinely stuck. I can't really go anywhere else. So, and it's not like I'm super upset about it, but I've always said I never wanted to stay where I am. But this is very much a COVID thing. it's very, very much a COVID thing that like I had to move here back after I graduated because of COVID, because there was no option for staying in Memphis. I will say if I told you guys, when I went to Colonial Williamsburg, we got to go on a hard hat tour of their new archaeology center, which is going to open up in April, but it's taking some, like, they're going to take some time to like move stuff over. That was the first time in a very, very long time no, I did not study in Egypt. This is Memphis, Tennessee. Not ancient Memphis. Named after ancient Memphis, but no, Memphis, Tennessee. It was the first time in a very, very long time that I saw another option. I really, really thought this would be a cool place to work. I don't have, like, technically most of my archaeological experience is in early historic America. So, like, Colonial Williamsburg is not that far off. But because this place was so cool, like, I wouldn't have to be in the archaeological lab with anyone. But I could give tours of the center, and I could give education programs. And so I will admit I did look to see if they were hiring. There was nothing explicitly on there. When you say historic archaeology is a term for American archaeology, or not just American archaeology, is typically when, what is the fancy thing? It's like, it's supposed to be like when things started getting recorded, like, I'm trying to think of what the definition of historical archaeology is. It's typically early America. So it's America up to, what is the definition of historical archaeology? Formally. Yeah, so it's sort of the study of past societies that left behind written records combining archaeology. So like, the Society of Historical Archaeology is typically like US. So the largest scholarly group concerned with archaeology of the modern world, so around 1400 to present. So some of it will include pre-US colonies, yes, but it also, the main focus of the society is the era since the beginning of European exploration. Yeah. So that is what, yeah, 1492 plus, pretty much. So all of my archaeology experience minus 2, so like, I did a Tudor site in England, and I did a ancient Roman site in Rome. Those are 2 other sites I did, but everything else I've had experience, and currently my current job at the Archaeology Museum is historical archaeology. So working at Colonial Williamsburg would not be too far off. I have some sort of experience in that at the least. I haven't looked at Smithsonian jobs recently, but believe me, if they were hiring an Egyptologist to redo the Egyptology gallery, I would love to. Would love that. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I excavated in the South Downs, a Tudor deer park, owned by, was he the Duke of Downley? Is that what he was called? I think so. Henry VIII visited there once. It was cool. It was kind of weird because the entire site had already almost been excavated for years. And so I got to excavate the tower, which dated to later than the Tudor period, but it had a shit ton of stuff in it, which was really cool. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Max. Yeah, so historical archaeology is about combining those historic records and the archaeology. So you can do that in some cases to like the Tudor period or to medieval Europe. Like we do have obviously writings, but we don't have as much as we do what we consider the historical period. So like we have much more records of deeds and land grants and censuses and tax records. Like those things are preserved. We have some of those stuff in earlier Europe in like the 1100s, the 1200s, but not a lot of it. Like, so it's sort of the, it's sort of that combination of stuff. We have a lot of, in the Archaeology Museum, we have a lot of interactives. So almost everything in our museum you can touch. It's a very small museum, but you can touch stuff. And so I helped create a sonar box because we discovered these historic ships that were used to extend our shoreline. And I helped create these sonar boxes that you kind of stick a stick in. And the kids sit there for so long and they draw the whole thing and then they get to open up and they see the ship underneath. That's probably my favorite. There's a lot of ones that I've had a hand in because as I sort of have said in the past couple weeks that I'm not fully quiet quitting because I know that I can't. Because we have 8 museums and I work in between this, all of these museums used to be separate and now they're all together, and most of the museums don't act like they're together, unfortunately. And a couple of our divisions don't act like they're together. And so archaeology is one of them. Nobody really includes us in a lot of stuff and we can sort of do stuff on our own a lot of the time. I tend to be this middle person in between the two and it's awful, but I've just accepted it and moved on at this point. I know that I can bring a project to anybody at the Archaeology Museum and I know that they will trust me to do that project and that they will help me follow through, or they can ask me for help on a project and I will follow through on them. The rest of the department, they have not given me a lot of projects, and I'm done bringing projects to them when nothing gets picked up. And so it's a settling in for the long haul that I know that the people at archaeology trust me and that the people at archaeology ask how I'm doing. Like we are much closer in that side than kind of the rest of the whole department. And things have just been slowly, especially with our social media problems, we've just been like, I've been wanting to murder one of my coworkers because she's just doing some stupid shit. And it's like, I want to suddenly take over all the social media, but I don't. Like, I don't want to do it, but I know that I can do a better job than the person who's doing it, if that makes sense. So I help with short form content. So I help 2 of my coworkers. We have a small team of 3, and then we have a larger team that like looks at all of our scripts and stuff like that. All we do is videos, but there's somebody else who is doing posts and stories and other stuff. And genuinely, she does not know the first thing about social media etiquette. And I just want to wring her neck. And it's like, makes me want to lose my shit. Let's just say she posted a horizontal video in a story that was filmed on a computer, laptop, camera. Luckily, not a lot addicted because we are city government and not federal government. But it has threatened us, potentially. We've had some grants. Luckily, I think most of our grants were already funded. Most people do know Uni Boony that I have social media cred. I don't think a lot of people know how extensive it is. I did finally tell my boss when we were at the conference. I was telling them how many scripts. So I was telling Simon, my coworker, that I wrote 11 scripts in one day and how I was disappointed by that number because my top score for the amount of scripts I've written in one day is 56. And she looked at me like I was crazy and she thought it was about work. And I said, oh no, this is not about work. This is about my side gig. And she goes, whoa. And I don't think, because a lot of them don't have TikTok, like, and we're not allowed to post on TikTok as well. So I don't think they know how big it is or how involved my life is with it. Yeah, you gotta come up, Mark. I'll show you around. I'll take you all the cool places. If you know when, actually, Mark, tell me ahead of time and I can block off a day. Unless it is June 12th to 14th, because then I'm not allowed to block off a day. Because we have a big event coming and I'm literally not allowed. Okay, we're almost done with this document of love poetry. I have some more in this book, but they might be duplicates. I have not checked. So we'll see what I can find. The voice of the goose cries out, caught by its bait. Your love holds me. I cannot release it. I will collect my nets. What shall I tell my mother, to whom I go every day, laden with birds? I set no trap today, for your love has seized me. Is it implying that she's a bird? I don't know. I don't get this one. Oh, okay. It's okay. Like, you'll definitely be able to show up to the event I'm doing. I'm just not gonna be able to take you around because I'm literally not allowed to. Although I don't know what, I might have a day off in those 3 days. I don't know, but I might. Okay, I'll check in again. But yeah, if you tell me in advance, I know this is my problem, is that week, like, they've literally told us we're not allowed to take a day off. So it's hard. The 10th would be better, but yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, let me know. Let me know as soon as you can, and we'll see what I can do. I'll obviously be able to hang out with you after work, although unfortunately a lot of our events are going late, so. I know. We'll try to figure it out. If not, we could do it on your way back, I guess. If you come back this way, that would be also easier. I think he's the bird. Yeah, mid-August would be great because there's not a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, June is like... June might murder us all. We're very fearful. This is one of the images I modeled my perfume cone off of. They're so pretty. Where's this one from? Usurhat. I think I went into Usurhat's tomb. I can't remember. Some of the really minor ones, I can't remember which one I went in. The little sycamore that she herself planted opens its mouth to speak. The words coming forth from its mouth overflow with honey. It is perfect, its branches beautiful, blooming, and strong. Laden with ripe and unripe figs, that are redder than jasper. Its leaves like turquoise, with the gleam of glass. It attracts those who have yet come. Quote, come spend a day of beauty, morning after morning, up to 3 days, while seated in my shade. End quote. Or no, I am discreet, and I do not say what I see. I will not breathe a word. Oh my god, I love that one. The sycamore tree that she planted is prompting her and her beloved to stay underneath the shade. That is so funny. I feel like that's a pretty unique one because it's implying that like a inanimate object is speaking. I don't know how many instances we have of that in ancient Egyptian text. Gotcha. Wine making. Oh, this is one of the ones. Yeah, it's definitely implying that they're going to do it. That is for sure. I think this is one of the images that were, it was in that VR exhibit that I saw of making wine, of like pressing down. So this one says, I sail north on the river in the manner of a captain. My bundle of reeds on my shoulder, I am heading to Memphis. I will say to Ptah, Lord of Ma'at, give me my beloved tonight. The river, it is wine. Ptah is its reed. Sekhmet, its lotus leaf. Iadet, its lotus flower. Nefertem, its blooming blossom. The land lights up with her beauty. Memphis is a bowl of mandrakes, set before the beautiful of face, i.e. Ptah. I love that. Yeah, these are unique. I was thinking that. I've never really seen leaves like this. That is very interesting. They're like lily pads. This is Tomb of Epui again. Ah, a very, very famous image of these female musicians playing a sort of harp of some sort of lute / guitar, another sort of lute. These all have specific names that I don't know. And then she's has some double flutes. This person in here doesn't have anything that it looks like. But this is from Tomb of Djeser Ka Re Seneb. It's a very, very common image that you'll find on a lot of stuff. I actually think I have a plate that has it. Yeah. My big plate in the center. Oh, you can't see it. My big plate in the center has the lady, has like 3 of the ladies, although they are sort of are I mean, I can physically move the camera. I need to set up something so that I can actually move it up. But yeah, in the center of that big plate over there, this plate is 3 of the ladies, but it doesn't look like exactly like this. It's the lady with it's like this lady. I don't even know, honestly. It's so many of these images get like conglomerated together. I know. All my plates are up here. The very, very tiny one. All of these have been thrifted from the US except for the very tiny one, which is an Akhenaten one that I bought in the Luxor airport because these plates are so common. They are everywhere. So like I have all these, and some of them are really old. So the oldest one in my collection is this one, which is just a lady. That one was gifted to me when I was a child when we had in Girl Scouts, if you've never heard of, we had something called Thinking Day, which was each troop gets like a country and they sort of have to present the country to the rest of the troops in like the whole area, and you make some sort of swap that has to do it. And one year we had Egypt, and my leader gave this to me after we finished that. But then like again, that one's Akhenaten. The next one, this one is just another lady. This one is super detailed and has all these different like miniature scenes. It's like really, really detailed. The one next to the big one has the weighing of the heart. This one has a boat scene where he's like, I think he's fishing or he's got a harpoon or something. The next one is a chariot scene with all these little scenes in the circle around it. And at the very end, it's the Sphinx with the pyramids. But I have thrifted these from everywhere. Hi, Ferris and Efri, welcome on in. We're talking about ancient Egyptian love poetry. And we're talking about this image, which is a super common image that you'll see repeated on modern stuff. Honestly, the funny thing, Prime Operative, is that there are people that are convinced that they have found these plates archaeologically in like Ethiopia or Somalia, one of those, and they sent these pictures and stuff, and they're like, oh, these are indications of punt, and I'm looking at these pieces and I'm like, these are fake tourist shit. No, not the emerald tablets. I have heard about the emerald tablets, but no, I've been sent pictures by people and they're these metal plates, and I'm like, literally, those are tourist trap merchandise shit. Like, they are not real thing. Like, they're not real artifacts. It was very weird when I got those messages, so I didn't reply to them, but like, I could tell. Otto, I was gonna say, some archaeology groups will do that for an education day, but I really hate it. It's not good. Ooh, yay. Sorry, I just got an email. That's a good email. So this is from an Ostrakhan, board chart 1 in the French Archaeological Institute in Cairo. Seeing you, my beloved, is a festive day. Regarding you is a great favor. May you come to me with beer, musicians equipped with instruments, their mouths with songs of love, for joy and jubilation. Your excellent beloved is in adoration before you, kissing the ground at seeing you. Receive her with beer and incense, like an offering to a god. I love it. Oh, and this might be the last one or second to last one. I pass by her house at night. I knock, but no one opens. A good night for our doorkeeper. Bolt, I will open you. Latch, my fate is yours. Latch, my very soul is yours. It's a short one. All right, that's the last page of this. So this is not an extensive list. This is from a particular exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is like, quote unquote, their catalog. If you notice, none of these have that warning that I gave you, which is the brother versus sister. This is what the exhibit looks like. I feel like the reason why that they purposely did not include anyone that says brother or sister, because then nobody would actually read like a sign saying, this is not brother and sister, this means something else. And so I think that is why they selectively picked these. But I have some others in here that we are going to read. And then I have some other pages on the website, but I don't know. I think this got tilted just a little bit. I gotta figure out how to, sorry guys. I gotta figure out how to maneuver that so that I can move it myself. So this is Ancient Egyptian Literature and Anthology, translated by John L. Foster. And there are quite a few things in here, but I just know that there are some that are like considered poetry. I have to figure them out though. So let me just find one first. The cool part is that this one also, in some cases, has the hieroglyphs, which is nice. Okay, that's the tale of the shipwrecked sailor, which I knew. Okay, so here's some love songs. Love songs are the most immediately appealing of all ancient Egyptian poems and need the least explanation. In them, one finds an entire range of love situations and characters, and the tones and attitudes vary from chaste and idyllic to passionate and even erotic. Both males and females speak, and thus one sees both sides of love. These pieces all come from the Ramesside period and derive from a small collection or anthologies on papyri or Ostrakhan, now in London, Turin, or Cairo. Love has hardly altered at all over the millennium. So I have a feeling some of these might be the ones that we just read, so I'm gonna check to go through these. But okay, so Yes, I did. I think I did. I get it mixed up because that was also, I also went to the Naples Museum, and I went into the erotic closet, whatever it's called. But I think I did. I think I remember that exhibit when I was there. It was a little side room on like the first floor, if I remember correctly. My favorite piece of ancient Egyptian literature, it's a hard tie between the Shipwrecked Sailor and the Doomed Prince. The Doomed Prince is one of my favorites, and the only reason it's not like exclusively my favorite is that there's no ending. The Eloquent Peasant is really good. The Tale of Senue is one that I don't know very well. I know I've read it, but I just don't remember it as much as I do of the other ones. And the Tale of the Two Brothers, I only know a little bit about that one. I don't know a lot about that one as well. So I have, why just now must you question your heart? Is it really the time for discussion? To her I say, take her tight in your arms. For God's sake, which, I don't know what the fuck that translation is. Sweet man, it's me coming at you, my tunic loose at the shoulder. I like this one. I love you through the daytimes, in the dark, through all the long divisions of the night. Those hours I spend thrift, waste away alone, and lie and turn, awake till whitened dawn. And with the shape of you I people night. Okay. And thoughts of hot desire grow live within me. What magic was it in that voice of yours to bring such singing vigor to my flesh, to limbs which now lie listless on my bed without you? Thus I beseech the darkness, where gone, O loving man? Why gone from her whose love can pace you, step by step, to your desire? No loving voice replies, and I... Whoa. Sorry. And I too well perceive how much I am alone. It's a sad one. There's some sad ones on this, honestly. Whoa, this is a long one. The little ghost creature is a god called Medjed. He's not... Yeah, the cough was definitely part of the poem. He's a interesting little rare god. But he's my favorite. So he's not meant to be a ghost. He just looks like our modern connotation of what a ghost was. Some people think he's a hill with legs. All right, this one's a long one. I know. One day I'll save enough money. Maybe I'll do it right before our trip to Egypt. My love is one and only, without peer, lovely above all Egypt's lovely girls. On the horizon of my seeing, see her rising, glistening goddess of the sunrise star, bright in the forehead of a lucky year, so that she stands, epitome of shining, shedding light, her eyebrows gleaming darkly, marking eyes which dance and wander. Sweet are those lips which chatter, but never a word too much, and the line of the lovely neck, lovely, dropping since song's notes slide that way. Two young breasts firm in the bouncing light, which shimmer that blue-shadowed sidefall of hair. And slim are those arms, overtoned with gold, those fingers which touch like a brush of lotus. And ah, how the curve of her back slips gently, by a whisper of waist, to God's plenty below. Such thighs as hers pass knowledge of loveliness known in the old days. Dressed in the perfect flesh of woman, heart would run captive to such slim arms. She ladies it over the earth, schooling the neck of each schoolboy male to swing on a swivel to see her move. He who could hold that body tight would know at last perfection of delight. Best of the bully boys, first among lovers. Look you all men at the golden going, like Our Lady of Love without peer. To me, this is not a love poem. He described the goddess Newt. Like, almost, like to me, that is much more... Like, to me, he's describing the goddess Newt. He's describing how this woman looks like the goddess Newt as she goes above the sky. Like, that's what I feel like. And he's talking about the shimmering star, the sun is coming up. I did finally, my boss actually suggested a new tattoo place that's all women owned. Maybe we can go get tattoos, Mark, when you come up here. One day I'll get it. Some bongo drums. We do need some bongo drums. Oh, I think I remember this one. So I will say these translations are not great. There are some words that I don't think, like schoolboys. Schoolboys doesn't make a sense. There's some words that I feel like this translation... Who is this guy? I didn't actually question who this author is. Okay, he's a research associate at the former Oriental Institute at University of Chicago. Oh, he has a separate book called Love Songs of the New Kingdom. Oh, we should get that. Yeah, there's just some words that feel hard to say, yes, that's what that means. So we don't know what the ending of the Doomed Prince was, but we can assume that it's sort of that he probably survives in comparison. Like, in the very, very end of the story, they've killed the snake that is supposedly he's doomed to die from either a snake, a crocodile, or a dog. The snake has been killed. The end of the story, the only parts that we have is that the dog looks up at him and says, "I am your fate," and tries to attack him. And then he tries to get attacked by a crocodile. And so the implication is that it's a sort of like, it's more of like a fable in a way, and that it probably would it just probably, he would have survived in some way, but like, we don't know exactly how. Yeah, what's your question? I hope I can answer it off the top of my head, but I probably can. So let's read this one. Love, how I'd love to slip down to the pond, bathe with you close on the bank. Just for you, I'd wear my new Memphis swimsuit. This is the word that I'm questioning if that's actually a real translation of, but maybe it is. Made of sheer linen, fit for a queen. Come see how it looks in the water. Couldn't I coax you to wade in with me? Let the cool creep slowly around us. Then I'd dive deep down and come up for you dripping. Jesus. Let you fill your eyes with the little red fish that I'd catch. And I'd say, standing there tall in the shallows, look at my fish, love, how it lies in my hand, how my finger caress it, slip down its sides. But then I'd say softer, eyes bright with your seeing, a gift, love, no words. Come closer and look, it's all me. I mean, I'm sure it literally means swimming suit. Like, I don't know. Like, all of this is possible. All of this is possible. Like, these are definitely a little bit more sexually caused. When the oracle made him a pharaoh, did they vote on which god he would be the son of? Oh, I don't know if we know. That is a very good question. I don't know a lot about the Oracle of Siwa, But if I remember correctly, it probably is... I think the Oracle of Siwa was at a temple to Amun, so I don't think it mattered. But I'm not 100% sure. Most cities have sort of a primary god that they are worshiping. Because Amun is a weird one. Amun, most pharaohs are not a son of Amun. Most pharaohs are a son of Ra. But we're so late, and the Greeks have been ruling Egypt for like, or sorry, the Persians and the Kushites, that like their religion is getting scattered very quickly. Yeah. But you also have to remember that, like, okay, Siwa's primary god was Amun. Okay, that's what I thought. I think that's probably what it is. I think it's that Siwa's patron god was Amun, and so she is an oracle at the temple of Amun, and so he's gonna become the god of Amun. Pretty much. Like, I don't think it would change. But yeah, you're right. That is very weird that they would pick a god, but no, I think that's why. You do have to remember when we're talking about, like, sexuality and sensuality, that, like, this may be totally PG. It sounds not PG. It sounds like it's like they're implying stuff, but like to an ancient Egyptian, it might be obvious. To an ancient Egyptian, it might be completely fine, completely safe and stuff. So it's like, what you mean by that? Yeah, and they're both very different, and it's just like, but it's also our version of sexuality and sensuality is very different. God is Necher. Goddess is Necheret. No. Wait a second. It should be Necheret, because T is the female equivalent, but now I'm like, that sounds weird. I'm checking. Yeah, Necheret is goddess. There we go. Yes, but you also could just say Necheru, which is like deities. You can just make it plural. So for some reason, while yes, you can put like a male or female determinative at the end, you also can just put the T, which is a female ending, to the word. So obviously for these two, you don't, like, sometimes you can draw it with the little god image, like here, but it appears for some reason the goddesses doesn't get a female ending. It gets the female phonetic ending, it doesn't get a female determinative. Yeah. So my professor, although it's not written like this in this dictionary, this technically would be written NTR.T as an ending. So if it's a plural ending or a feminine ending, you would get a dot and a T. And if it's grammatical, if it's attaching a verb to a subject, you put an equal sign. Not every Egyptologist does it this way, but that was the way I was taught, and it seems like a lot of modern Egyptologists write it that way, but it's just not written like this in the dictionary. That's at least when you're making the transliteration and such. Yeah, exactly, Addicted. That there are definitely things that would sound totally normal to us and are really sexually explicit to them, and then the opposite as well. There are things that, like, yeah, that fish is definitely his dick, but it's not always. When you're using a feminine word, yes, you add a T. If it's plural, you add a W or an U sound, like a U sound. You still have to do, like, some things, yes, will have a female determinative. Some things, if it's multiple, you'll have to add strokes, 3 little lines, to make it plural. And that doesn't necessarily have sort of has the phonetic ending, but you might also just put the quail chick for the phonetic ending and then also put the strokes. So, But yeah, it's not like in French where certain words are feminine and certain words are masculine. Egypt doesn't technically have that unless you're talking about sort of a person. So like we talked about it before, a wab is an ancient Egyptian priest, a wabet is a priestess. So the thing we were talking about earlier with Neank-Khnum and Khnum-Hotep being a manicurist or a hairdresser, you can add a T ending to that, and we actually don't. We were talking about this with scribe. So a scribe is a sesh, and there is something called a seshet, so with a T at the end, and we cannot tell if that is a female scribe or if that is a whole different profession as it is. Like some people say, oh, it's an artist, or some people say it's a manicurist or a makeup artist, because of like, you have to sort of look at how it's all based on context. So we can tell it's a feminine occupation implied, but we don't know if it's, even though it's the same word as scribe, we don't know if it means a female scribe or a completely different profession that is a female equivalent to a scribe. Bast and Bastet are the same thing. They are both female goddesses. It is that her name changes over time. They spell it differently. I always forget if it's one comes before the other, but they are the same person. They're just spelt differently over time. It has confused me for a long time because I thought that there was a distinct difference, but there's really not. If they're talking about a particular goddess, they use the goddess's name. They're not just going to call her a goddess. But if they're like, there are so many, like an offering that the king gave, or I'm trying to think of something. God's wife of Amun. God's wife of Amun is a title that women get. It is the Necher, what's wife? Hemet? The Necher Hemet, en Imen. I think that's how it's written. I may have thrown that out of nowhere. But the Necher Imen, or the Necher Hemet, is the god's wife. Or the great god is the Necher Ware, is the great god. Very much about Philly said that there are several Yes, determinatives absolutely can be qualified for a lot of different things. I think you're right. I think Bastet came first, but I don't think there's genuinely really a difference between the two of them. I did a video on Bastet, but it's been so long that I don't remember. All right, what other poems do we got? This is a funny title. Okay. The titles of these poems are just the first line, and so the first line of this poem is really funny. Oh god, no. Otto, there are definitely some people that can full raw dog and just like full, what I call it sight reading, that they can full read exactly what you're looking at. I can do that with, like cartouches, but I also don't have all of my mono, bi, and triliterals, which are the phonetics that make mono is one sound, bi is two sounds, tri is three sounds. I don't have all of those memorized. So there are certain things that I'm like, I don't know what that glyph, I don't know what the phonetic sound for that glyph is. So certain cartouches I can look up and I can say, oh, that's Nebheper-Ura. That's Tutankhamun's throne name. I can see Tut-Ankh-Amun. I can see that. But when we go for full sentences, I can't do that. That is only really, really good linguists can do that, with the exception that I can do offering spells. Offering spells, because they're also called offering formulas, they have the same beginning and the same end. Sometimes I can't read the whole thing, but I can read the very beginning. I can say every offering spell starts with Hetep Di Nisu Weser. Like, Hetep Di Nisu means an offering that the king gave, and then there's a god, and then there's the god's epithets, and then there's all of the offerings listed, and then at the very end is the guy's name. There's a whole lecture on it on my YouTube all about that. Those are the only things that I can try to sight read. I'm still not that great to do it. Oh god, yeah, I can't. Hi, Draconite, welcome on in. We're reading some ancient Egyptian love poetry. What's the importance of saying the wife's name like that instead of saying... So that is a title that you would put after her name. You have to put her name as well. So it would be... I can't think. Ta, God's wife of Amun. It's not an actual title of hers, but no, you have to have, that's just an epithet or a title that goes after somebody's name. You have to say the name with it. It doesn't make any sense to it. Yeah, offering formulas, I feel like, and that is something, I made that lecture so that people could genuinely do it themselves, and I think you can, because it is technically something that I did, it is technically something that I learned the very basics of before I actually started taking ancient Egyptian language. That book, Egyptian Hieroglyphs for Complete Beginners by Bill Manley, was very helpful. And I do recommend it for very, very basic, but they talk about offering spells very much at the beginning. Yeah, they would say a queen's name without the pharaoh's name. Sometimes, but not a lot. It just depends on what the context of the text is. I'm so glad you're here. Is it true that in the smaller temple at Abu Simbel they put Nefertari in the smiting grounds? I don't know what you mean by smiting grounds. You mean like in a smiting motif in like the image? I've never been to Abu Simbel, and I don't know much about the smaller temple. But they might have. I don't know. I've never seen an image of her in a smiting motif. There's some images of possibly Nefertiti in a smiting motif, but not Nefertari. Alright, we got an ad in 10 seconds, so I will pause to read this poem. I honestly don't know if the smaller temple is accessible to the public, but there's the big one, and then off to the side there's a separate temple for his wife, for Nefertari. And there are images of hers. It's much, much smaller, but I don't know if it's accessible to the public. It might be. It probably is, especially since they still reconstructed it as well. I'll show a picture of it. Abu Simbel. Temple of Nefertari. We are not. It is unfortunately a time versus money suck. One day we will. One day we will, but on this trip we are not. The problem is, Mark, is that it's 3-hour bus ride to and from this site, from Aswan. So even we actually did talk about it with Abdel, but we talked about just going to Aswan and not going to Abu Simbel because it just takes up a huge day. I know. I still have never seen it either. But yeah. So this is his temple, and this is the Queen's temple to the side, and you can see where they sort of were in ancient times. That's the painting I have, or the picture I have right behind me. And this is the inside of his temple. And then the inside of his temple. Oh my god, I love that photo. I've never seen that photo before. It's a little guy sitting on top of it. This is my favorite picture, is where they used to be and where they are now. Yep. This is the fake site. I love that picture. The fake mountain. Whoa. That's cool. Here's her temple. This is the small one, yes, but this is the view everybody knows. But then this is the Nefertari temple. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go through the pictures one more time, Otto. I'm just waiting for the time to be over. Oh wow. That's a great view. Look at that. Look at the boat. But look how much the water is already encroaching. Okay, sorry, I'll go back and... So... Yeah, I gotta talk to Abdel. There's a lot of stuff we gotta figure out, for sure. I gotta figure out, like, when are we gonna send itineraries? When are we gonna do, like, I don't know what the timeline for a lot of this is. He said that a lot of stuff can literally be booked, like, a month in advance, and I was just like, what? It seems crazy. Yeah. He is doing most of the stuff, but, like, I want to know a little bit more. I gotta come up with some questions to ask him. So this is Abu Simbel. We have the temple of Ramses II and the temple of his wife Nefertari. Here are some historical images. This is from 1820, and you can see the amount of sand that is sort of accumulated in this section sort of the rock. This is another pretty good image. And how close it is still to the water's edge, but this is the painting I have behind me, showing that, like, the entrance is here kind of in between these two statues and stuff. And then this is the interior chamber going down, like, the center hallway. There's little rooms to the side here. And then the Holy of Holies is all the way here in the back. And we have Ra, Ramesses, Amun. Who's the other one? I can't remember. I think so. This is... I don't know when this dates to. These are all by David Roberts, who lived in 1796 to 1864. But I don't know what day that is, what year he took these. This is in 1850. And this is 1857. This is Amelia Edwards' drawing of it from 1,000 Miles Up the Nile. So he may have excavated the interior, because it seems at least by 1874 it's still fairly unexcavated on the sides. And then after they did the Aswan High Dam, they had to lift they deconstructed both of these temples and then lifted them up. And so you can see this. So on the front of this one, it's all Ramses. It's 4 statues of Ramses. And then it's very hard to see, but there are these small statues of his daughters, and his wives, and I think that might be a son, kind of tucked in here. And then on the front of her temple, who's the 4th one? Amun, Ptah, Ramses, and Re-Herakti. That's what it is. I am assuming I think these are all just the king and queen. I don't know who this is. Is that also him? On either side of the portal are 2 statues of the king wearing the right crown of Upper Egypt and the double crown. These are flanked by statues of the queen. Yeah, so as it says, this is one time where kings and queens are pictured as at similar sizes, because this is dedicated to her. It's so far. It's so far from Cairo. It is almost in Sudan. It's literally almost in Sudan. Here's an 1854. Yeah. So the thing is, even from Aswan, it's a 3-hour drive. So like, not only would we have to, a trip that is like sort of typical is you go to Cairo, you fly from Cairo, you can fly from Cairo to Aswan, then you'd still have to take that 3-hour bus ride going to it, spend 2 hours there, then take a 3-hour bus ride back. And then you only take, what's it called? Boat rides, like Nile cruises, only go from Aswan to Luxor. So then you go from Aswan to Luxor. So your time is eaten up by travel a lot of the time. Like, granted, the flight from Cairo to Luxor is only an hour. It's honestly less than an hour. But 3 hours in a bus ride. 6 hours in a bus ride in one day. And you get like an hour or two. It sucks. It's hard. I want there to be an airport there, but it doesn't seem like it's really feasible because there's just not that much. There's no city. There's nothing around there as well. Like, there's probably a couple random restaurants, but there's nothing around there. Look at a map, you can see that there's nobody like who lives there. There's no city around it because it was just kind of placed at sort of the end of the ancient Egyptian like border almost. A lot of cool old photos. Yeah, it's closer to the Sudan border than it's close to Aswan, which is crazy. Earliest photo of the small temple in 1854. Stela adjacent to the small temple. Oh, interesting. 1923. Yeah, there's a lot of weeds. Interior of Nefertari's temple at Abu Simbel. So this is before the relocation, so you can already see that it's like so close to flooding all the time. No, Aswan's not on the itinerary. It's only Cairo and Cairo and Luxor. Because I didn't see the point of going to Aswan and not going to Abu Simbel, which sounds silly, I know, but it was hard to pick an itinerary. I'm sure the next time we do it, we will go to Aswan. There's just too much that I want to see, and I don't want this tour to be like the typical tourist tours that people get where you are rushing from place to place to place. So to space it out, we had to like not do Aswan. So as I said, this tour that we're going to do is almost exactly what me and my dad did, pretty much. We're not doing really anything more. But yeah. I'm hoping, and we'll plan a next one. It's just impossible. It's impossible to get everything unless we make it 2 weeks. If it was 2 weeks, we could do it, but 10 days, it's too hard. So yeah, so this is what it looks like now, and you can see there's just this, like there's just a little bit here, and the Nile cruise boats can't. You can also, I was gonna say, the thing is you can't sail from Aswan to here, if I remember correctly, because the dam is in the space. Yeah, Alexandria is not too far. It's just also complicated. There's no airport in Aswan, or in Alexandria. I was really hoping to go to Alexandria and then fly from Alexandria to Luxor, but they don't have flights between there. I know what we were specifically looking at was a smiting motif with Nefertari. That's a beautiful image of her. I think I can't remember. I think it has an airport, but it doesn't have flights. It doesn't have flights to, there's something weird about it. I remember trying to figure it out. I don't know. I've never seen that stela before either, but I don't think it may. They restored a lot of the stuff, so they probably pulled it up. It's somewhere apparently. It might be this. I think that's the stela. It's over here. Is there a delay? Oh, I'm sorry. There might be. It's hard to tell. No, I might wear I'm not gonna wear khakis. I might wear khaki linen pants, but no pith helmet. I try not to fall into the stereotypes. What time is it? 10:34. Okay, I do have to go to sleep at a normal time, so I have a couple more poems that I'll read. Yeah, we don't want to be you know who. I don't have a pith helmet. I do work tomorrow. It's Sunday. I do work tomorrow. I told you that. I do work tomorrow. Today is Saturday. No, I was off today. I do work tomorrow, and I'm training someone tomorrow, so I have to be in and pay attention. Yeah, I think Alexandra's airport does like so little. God, no. This is just what they make me do, is they make me train people on weekends in the craziest museum, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to train this girl. Luckily, she's already done a training on Thursday, but like, she's not gonna get trained. I'm not gonna have time to train her. Yeah, but then museums wouldn't be open on the weekend, and that should be against the law, because then normal people wouldn't be able to go to them. So it is so funny, because my therapist said, "Happy Friday" when I saw her yesterday, and I was like, that means nothing to me. And she goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, there's no such thing as like there's no such thing as a Friday for me. Like, I don't understand the concept of a weekend anymore. Like, genuinely. Like, there are, like, I still have certain little hang-ups. I'm like, okay, it's Saturday. But, like, not even joke you, this is the funniest thing. If I'm off on a random Saturday or Sunday and I go to, like, go get lunch or something, and I'm like, why are there so many people in this place? And I get really annoyed, and I realize, oh, it's because it's an actual weekend when other people have off, versus when I have a weekday off and I go to work. I go to, like, get lunch somewhere, and I'm like, oh. Yeah. Weekends don't mean anything to me. All right, here's another poem. I love, the first line is hysterical. You guys are gonna love this. Love of you is mixed deep in my vitals, like water stirred into flour for bread, like simples compound in a sweet tasting drug, like pastry and honey mixed to perfection. Oh, hurry to look at your love. Be like horses charging in battle, like a gardener up with the sun, burning to watch his prize bud open. High heaven causes a girl's love longing. It is like being too far from the light, far from the hearth of familiar arms. It is this being so tangled in you. There's also this really short one. I think I'll go home and lie very still, feigning terminal illness. Then the neighbors will all troop over to stare, my love perhaps among them. How she'll smile while the specialists snarl in their teeth. She perfectly well knows what ails me. That might be my favorite one. That is so funny. She perfectly well knows what ails me. I also forgot to mention that in that first poem that we read, it said crocodile on the sandbank. And I think that is Barbara Mertz stole that line for her book. For the first book of the Amelia Peabody series, it's called Crocodile on the Sandbank. Yeah, I'll read that one more time. I think I'll go home and lie very still, feigning terminal illness. Then the neighbors will all troop over to stare, my love perhaps among them. How she'll smile while the specialists snarl in their teeth. She perfectly well knows what ails me. It's love. It's not a specific thing. It's made by it's with a man. Actually, no, it could be a woman. I guess there's no pronouns or anything, but it's just the implication that like I'm feigning a terminal illness and my love might come along and they're like, hey, you know what's wrong with me? You've like messed me up. Whoa, this is a long one. Should I read this? Oh my god, this is a long one. Should I read Songs of the Birdcatcher's Daughter? It's like 4 pages. Okay. This is a long one, so I'm just going to read the whole thing straight out. Lover, beloved, strong-winged love. My heart, like a huntress, follows your flight. A girl's sleepy feelings wakened by you. You've made a whole world for me. Here I am, breathless, fresh from my snares. Bird gear still in my hands. Throw stick and net, I am ready. For love of God, come a-hunting. Why, every last singer from Punt is here in Egypt. Flew down covered with myrrh to the ears. The first one came, and he pounced on my bait worm. Odor of spice hung thick on the breeze, and his talons were sticky with sweet gum. My heart turns to you, begging, let's free him together, we two, out where I have you alone. Let yourself go, hear the voice, how he cries, of my hostage crestfallen with myrrh. How good it would be just you there with me, while I set my carefulest trap. And what luck for a lover outbound from the marsh, with that special one waiting to love. Voice of the wild goose crying, calling me, caught by my lure. But your loving me slows my going. Tangled, I cannot work free. Love, let me go, nets of my own need untying. And what am I going to tell mother? Still, a lot of times they're talking to their mom, which I really appreciate. I don't know why. Each day's end returning to her, bent down under my catch. Hi, no tripping the snare lines today. Wild goose, I hear your call. I'm captive, taken by love of you. A wild goose bursts into flight, then settles, beating his wings in distraction. Mischief maker tearing the meshes, scourge of the bird coat. Birds thick as lizards mill about squawking, and all is confusion. I do not flutter, though caught, singing bird in invisible net. Lonely, I lift up my call under the weight of my love. This heart is counterpoise to your own. I shall never be far. Balance my love with your caring. Whenever I leave you, I go out of breath. Death must be lonely like I am. I've heard that quote before. I have absolutely translated that in my class. Death must be lonely like I am. I don't know why I know that quote from somewhere. That's so funny. I dream lying dreams of your love lost, and my heart stands still inside me. I stare at my favorite date cakes. They would be salt to me now, and pomegranate wine, once sweet to our lips, bitter, bitter as bird gall. Touching noses with you, love, your kiss alone, and my stuttering heart speaks clear. Breathe me more of your breath. Let me live. Man meant for me, God himself gave you as his holy gift, my love to outlast forever. What heaven it would be if my heart's own wish came true, to care for all you have and are, house mistress of the manor. While your arm lies gentle on my breast, which twists unquiet out of love, I send my stealthy wish to creep inside you, praying, deliver him to me. My love, O Mary, be in the darkness of this night, my Lord, husband to be, no, to me. Or yet another girl walks lonely to her tomb. For who else gives good health and life? Delight me with the air of your life-giving. Be prodigal, capitulate, let in this wandering heart which seeks you. Still going. The voice of the swallow, flittering, calls to me. Lands alight, whither away? No, little bird, you cannot entice me. I follow you to the fields no more. Like you in the dawn mist I rose. At sunrise discovered my lover abed. His voice is sweeter. Wake, I said, or I fly with the swallow. And my heart smiled back when he, smiling, said, You shall not fly, nor shall I, bright bird, but hand in hand we shall walk the Nile-side pathways, under cool of branches, hidden, only the swallow watching. Wide-eyed girl, I shall be with you in all glad places. Can you match the notes of that song, little swallow? I am first in his field of girls. My heart, dear sister, sings in his hand. My love never harmed a winged creature. Let me look at his wayside gate. I think it's my love there, coming for me. Eyes on the ground, but my ears listening hard. I tremble a little, waiting for him. I'll make an art out of loving my love. He'll be my only concern. For him, heart stops at nothing. Why, he's sending me only a messenger, the one with fast, slinky feet, trusted with bedroom secrets. I never liked him. A mere servant tells me my love's been a lie. He's found another. Whose turn is it now, making soft eyes upon his face? Oh my God, love, what kind of man breaks the heart of a girl with such ever so strange goings on? My heart remembers how I once loved you, as I sit with my hair half done, and I'm out running, looking for you, searching for you with my hair down. If I ever get back, I'll weave an intricate hairdo down to my toes. Love, there's so much time now to finish. This is all like in different sections, and they seem like they're all together, but I wish they gave me more context about where all these were from. Like, I don't know what if they are all found on the same exact page or something. Like, I'm not sure. That might be all of them, but let me just look through here. I'm looking for like love poetry specifically. There are some texts that are sort of... Oh, I forgot about that literature story. The debate between a man and his ba. That's another one. I have to see if it says in the back of the book. It doesn't say what like specific on the specific page, but I'm hoping it cites it in the back. So I just have to get through. I'm just checking if there's any more love poetry. Most of this is like some fancy text. Oh, that's a cool one. I want to read that one. Hymn to the Nile in praise of Amun. Here's the tale of Sinue. Tale of Sinue is a long one. More hymns. Nature of the Beyond. Then we got the Eloquent Peasant. There's a lot of things that are called the instructions of someone, And it's sort of like long things of advice. They're very funny. One day we'll go and read one of them because they are pretty hysterical sometimes. Instructions of Amenemhat is a really big one. I think the lot of poetry is on Harris 500. So let's see what this book says, if it tells me. I'm honestly shocked that if it won't. Okay, sources for the text. So the first one I said is Papyrus Chester Beatty. Another's an Ostracon. Another's Chester Beatty 1 has a lot of poetry. Papyrus Harris 500, that's the love for you is mixed deep in my vitals, that's from Papyrus Harris 500. I think I'll go home and lie very still is also Papyrus Harris 500. Yeah, Songs of the Birdcatcher's Daughter is also Papyrus Harris 500. Yeah, so those are all on either Ostraca or Papyrus Harris 500 or Chester Beatty 1. Yeah, I want to read this one, which looks really cool. This one is called Portrait of the Queen. So this is a little context for it. This poem, actually a love song, was carved into the wall of the temple at Luxor around the middle of the 13th century BCE and commemorates Nefertari, great royal wife of King Ramses II, the pharaoh who ruled Egypt for more than a century. There is a charming contrast between the public situation of the poem and its loving description of the queen. So, this was a princess, of that line royal, lady most praiseworthy, and a woman of charm, sweet for love, yet mistress ruling 2 countries, the twin lands of the sedge and the papyri. See her hands here shaking the sistra, to bring pleasure to God, her father Amun. How lovely she moves, her hair bound with fillets, songstress with perfect features, a beauty in double-plumed headdress, the first among harem women, to Horus, lord of the palace. Pleasure there is in her lips' motions. All that she says, it is done for her gladly. Her heart is all kindness, her words gentle to those upon earth. Our lives just to hear her voice. On this wall, by this door, she stands singing, great royal wife of the sovereign, and a girl King Ramses loved. Consort to power and majesty, she is queen of the realm, Nefertari. Isn't that pretty? I've never read that before. But yeah, that says it's from, it said it was from Temple of Luxor. I want to see who published it. Luxor Temple, Court of Ramses II, West Wall, north of Doorway. Mentioned in Bertha Porter and Rosalind Moss Topographical Bibliography of Ancient Egypt and Hieroglyphic Text, Reliefs, and Paintings. Text taken from translator's hand copy. Cool. Let me briefly look at... I know I had a couple more, but I don't know if they're like... Oh, what? So I did find this book on archive.org, which is Love Poems of Ancient Egypt. It's definitely older. It's from the 60s. But there might be some in here. You have to borrow it from archive, but if you make a free account, you can borrow it pretty easily. Yes, exactly, Dances with Dirt. A lot of these things, there's a lot of possibilities that these are copies of older texts, for sure. But the problem is that I don't know, like, where these are coming from. Is this just a... is this just a guy writing fake poetry? Okay, Ezra Pound is a poet? Okay, that would make way more sense. Okay, so he's just a poet. All right, that makes way more sense. So there's this one, but this is like on Wikisource, and I'm like, I don't know where this comes from, but and then there's also this one, which I don't know where these come from. But a lot of them seem to come, like this is Chester Beatty Papyri. A lot of them seem to come from descriptions of texts in 12 manuscripts, papyrus in the Greek Bible. The title was Ancient Egyptian, or Love Poems of Ancient Egypt, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't recognize his name. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much of this has actually been like, if Chester Beatty Papyri has been like fully translated. This one says it's just coming from archaeology in the Bible. But yeah, there does seem to be some other books on like ancient Egyptian poetry, but it's hard to figure out if they're actually like actual text. Like there's Love Poetry and the Songs of Ancient Egyptians by Gilbert Moore. What I actually would like is to get this guy's other one, John L. Foster. So it says that there's a book called Love Songs of the New Kingdom. Not great. No, I know. But I can't even tell if that's actually what the book is or something. There's also Writings from Ancient Egypt by Toby Wilkinson, I trust. Okay, it does say Love Poems of Ancient Egypt. It does say translated by Ezra Pound. So it looks like yeah, so you might be right that they translated it. So it might be good, but unclear. But yeah, I think he's apparently a poet. I sort of recognize the name, but I don't really know anything. Like, yeah, secondhand translation. Ezra Pound, American poet and critic, major figure in early modernist poetry movement, and collaborated with fascist Italy and Salo Republic during World War II. His work includes Ripostes, Hugh Saluin, Mulberry, and the Cantos. I don't think I know anything that he would have. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Mark, my friend is in York right now. Yeah, I think I'm just recognizing. He also comes from an era of literature that I like, so I think that might be why. Yeah, this is my friend who's living in Scotland right now. Her family is visiting her, and I just saw she's in York today. Yeah, I think he's contemporary with Hemingway. Yeah, she's doing a master's in I can't remember the exact name, but it has to do with tourism. Yeah, she's in Edinburgh. It has to do with tourism of some sort. I'm not sure, Uni Booney. I'm not really sure what cryptographic exactly means in that context. This guy has like a serious look about him, in all of his meeting Mussolini. He's got a whole section in his Wikipedia called Meeting Mussolini. Arrest for treason. Yeah, he definitely was. He's got a very long Wikipedia page. I'm actually kind of impressed that someone has. Whoa, they also concluded that he has psychopathic personality disorder, but he was not psychotic. I'm actually kind of shocked how long his Wikipedia is. Whoa! His selected works is massive! I mean, I know it's poetry, so it's like shorter. But his selected works section is like massive. Someone made a very good, there are so many citations. There are 468 citations or footnotes in this thing. And there are several thousand, oh my goodness, several hundred. I feel like this is the most detailed Wikipedia page I've ever seen in my life. That is actually kind of crazy. Somebody really liked Ezra Pound and wanted to create a huge Wikipedia in honor of him. All right. Very good discussion. Not as many many poems as I thought we were going to find. I thought we were going to find more. Yes. I don't know anything about him. I was just looking at his Wikipedia page real quick. Absolutely. Gotta talk about a lot of topics. Abu Simbel is a cool place. Oh yeah, let's watch the video. We'll finish up the video. Yeah, we said that. We said that already. He has a whole section on his Wikipedia about what's it called? Meeting Mussolini. All right, so this. Oh wait, I gotta. Let's just copy this. Oh, he's saying it in Egyptian. I didn't realize he was going to say it in Egyptian. If you could tell, it said sister. It's a replica, but yes. So I can't take this guy seriously. I'm sorry. Like the star soapeth or soapdet when it rises. Also, his name is Peter Pringle. I also can't get over that. Sorry, I can't. I do not know who Peter Pringle is. I don't know. This is the... Yes, he's using absolutely all... This is all modern music, singing-wise, everything. Like, he is using lyrics from a poem, but he is making everything else up because we just don't have a lot of evidence. We know that that is an actual musical instrument. We cannot say exactly how they played it and stuff. So that's why I just can't take it super seriously. Because I'm all about accuracy and it's not accurate. But he can't make it accurate, so that's fine. And it's that, like, we don't 100% know how people spoke in ancient Egypt, so, like, I would have rather him do this in English, to be honest, than sort of make up the Egyptian pronunciation. I thought it was going to be in English, I'll be honest. Peter Pringle has a Wikipedia page? Yeah, exactly. So we have depictions of ancient Egyptian instruments. We were looking at some earlier. So this is absolutely an ancient Egyptian instrument. It's just we don't know, we can't say exactly how they played it or exactly how they tuned it. Because again, like, the way that we tune something today does not mean that they tuned it the same way back in the day. And everything that he's doing is much more of a reflection of modern Arabic music and modern Islamic music. So it's like, it's a lot of the, like, Egyptian music that you hear is not based in ancient Egypt. It's based in modern Arabic music, to be honest. I don't know about Mesopotamian music, but I would also not trust that it's accurate either. Yeah, absolutely. We have no concept of melody. We have no concept of like, the other thing is that, like, yes, we assume that some of this poetry is would have been sung, but that's an assumption that we're making. That does not necessarily mean it was. They might have had music that they just didn't write down, but this is poetry, and that's separate from music. But we don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about Mesopotamian music, so I don't think they have actual written music sheets, but that's just because I know we don't have any from Egypt. So I have to say, I don't think any sort of music can be accurately understood from ancient world unless we have literal music sheets that look like our music sheets today, if that makes sense. Because otherwise, whoa, sexy man playing a cello, excuse me. Because to be honest, like, you can't, unless somebody is writing down, this is how our melodies go, this is how our rhythm is, this is how to play this instrument, we can't automatically assume that, even if we have some of those instruments that have survived. So I feel like it's just something that, like, we don't really have it. That you think there are, okay, then that's fine. It's just, I'm saying, like, unless we have those things, we are just guessing. It's the same thing with language. It's like, wow, he's got It's so funny. He's like been on here since 2007, and his his YouTube channel is obviously so simple. He has nothing like extra. He doesn't even have like a, what's it called? Like a thing. He's only got 94 videos. He's got 198,000 subscribers. But yeah, he's got a replica of the Golden Lyre of Ur, which is cool. Oh, 7 days since I last saw my love. That's the one that we read. Yeah. He seems like a cool guy. He's got a lot of cool old instruments for sure. Yeah, you can. We're probably gonna wrap up, but yeah, you can put it in Show Me Egypt. That's fine. No, I'm still doing that. Exactly. You have to fill the gaps, especially for video games. Like that's like, again, like most of the music in Origins is not based in ancient Egypt. It's based on modern Islamic music and obviously other things, but you got to fill the gap. So you can't not do it. We have indications that music is played at banquets and such, but then a lot of music in Egypt is performed in temples. Songstresses, chantresses, musicians, those are all titles for priestesses or priests. And so a lot of those, the sistrum, the mehen, the menot, sorry, I always get those names and confused. The menot, those are all meant to be shaken while doing rituals in Egypt. There's definitely some cases that some of the higher elites, but yeah, you could probably assume music is not readily available in some cases to lower Egyptians. I think it depends on the instrument and how expensive they would be, and I honestly have no idea if we have any idea about that, but yeah. I compare it more to a tambourine, but it is kind of its own type of maraca, for sure. It looks like a maraca, but it sounds like a tambourine. Most of them do, you're right. Like, it's sort of, you could do it this way, but I think most of them were like, you think, ooh, this is not a very good sistrum. Yeah, like a shimmer. Exactly. Oh yeah, absolutely. There was more local music. There are drums are a weird one that I think we have evidence of drums, but it's not as prominent. There's also trumpets, and they don't have any of the keys. They're kind of the long medieval type trumpets. But we don't have much evidence on those besides Tut's tomb. I don't know if any trumpet has ever been found besides the ones in Tut's tomb. Alrighty. Oh, should we go raid? So, you know the sound? Yeah, you know the sound that I play for our raid? Our raid alert? That is Tutankhamun's trumpet being actively played on the radio in the 1930s. He had two trumpets. He had a silver and a gold trumpet. Yeah. Some idiot decided to play it on live. That's also... I don't know if that... Sorry, my mic is all loud now. I don't know why. That also... we'll listen to it. Here. You can listen to it, because it doesn't...
And now, the two trumpets will be blown by bandsman James Tapper, who is here by permission of the Colonel and officers of the 11th Prince Albert's Own Hussars. I must explain that neither trumpet is easy to sound, and this is particularly true of the copper.
You'll hear it, and this is the whole recording.
The trumpets of the Pharaoh Tutankhamun, Lord of the Crowns, King of the South and North, Son of Re.
That's... Can you guys not hear this? I'm playing music. Can you hear that? I guess it was too quiet. No, this is this trumpet being played. But it also is being, again, this has no keys, so you are making the noises with your mouth. So it's played, they are made, yes, they are making a bugle call through this trumpet. But that's because there's no keys, there's nothing to change it. So it's because the guy is a bugle player.
Trumpet.
This is the second trumpet. But they don't obviously have an example of what to play, so they're just playing what they know through this trumpet. Yeah. So this is a piece of wood that goes inside this trumpet. So this is just
And
one
so,
trumpet.
After a silence of over 3,000 years, these two voices out of Egypt's glorious past have gone echoing across the world.
This is made out of silver and gold. This is made out of wood, and this was inserted into the piece to make sure it doesn't fall. Like, doesn't collapse, essentially, on itself. So the toot is this. Listen to, right after this, listen to the sound.
King of the South and North, son of Ray.
Wah. I don't know what that sound is. I have assumed that it is part of the recording. And so if you do the sound alert, toot, 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 or tuts toot, or whatever it's called, that's the sound it makes. Can somebody do that sound alert so that I make sure that everyone can actually hear it when people do that?
What?
Wah. Okay. So I thought that was such a funny sound that I took it. I have no idea if it's from the trumpet. It's just from this recording. So I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. But yeah, it's just, well. But it's just the beginning after he says it.
What?
Huh? I don't know. I don't know if it's him blowing into it, but it just makes me laugh. So that's why I did that. So yeah, so this is silver, this is gold. And then this is a piece of wood that was inserted into it. That's the Tutankhamun toot. It's in, I don't know if that's, I can't tell if that's sound alert or if that's, a channel point.
What?
Wah. The problem is that there's another trumpet. So this, okay, here's the two of them. Okay, so there's a silver and there's a bronze. So that is bronze. This one is silver. This one's bronze and gold. At least the end point is. Yeah, it's in the sound alert chart then. No. the full sound alert only comes in when somebody raids. I think it's the silver one that supposedly fell apart. I think one of sterling silver and one of bronze or copper are considered the oldest operational.
Unacceptable condition! Unacceptable!
They are the only surviving example of trumpets from ancient Egypt. They were discovered in the tomb's antechamber in a large chest containing various military objects and walking sticks. The silver trumpet was subsequently found in the burial chamber. Both are finely engraved, decorated with images of the gods Ra, Reharakti. One is silver and one is either bronze or copper. This is the best. This is the best photo. This is the silver one, and then this is the bronze or copper one. Probably bronze because it's still brown. The silver trumpet's bell is engraved with a whorl of sepals and calyxes representing lotus flowers and the prenomen and nomen of the king. The bronze trumpet may be made out of copper. The metal has not yet been analyzed, according to a 2011 article. Similarly looking trumpets featuring in Egyptian wall paintings that are usually not always associated with military scenes. So silent for over 3,000 years, the trumpets were sounded before a live audience of an estimated 150 million listeners through an international BBC broadcast aired on the 16th of April, 1939. The trumpets were played by a bandsman, James Tappern, of Prince Albert's own 11th Royal Hussars Regiment. The recording has been replayed on BBC Radio since, most recently in 2023. Rex Keating, who presented the 1939 broadcast, later claimed that during a rehearsal, the silver trumpet shattered, and Alfred Lucas, a member of Carter's team, who essentially was their conservator, was so distressed that he needed to go to the hospital. Due to their fragility, it's unlikely the trumpets will ever be played again in any official musical reconstructions. I don't know. I don't know if it's ebony. I don't think it would be ebony, but I'm not sure. The silver trumpet has a length... I'm trying to see if they say exactly what it is. The bronze trumpet was examined in detail in the 1970s, consists of 2 sections. The slightly conical body is from a rolled sheet of copper alloy. The bell is of a different, thinner material, an electrum-like alloy of gold without a visible seam. The ring is apparently not fixed on the body. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's copper or something. Claims of magical powers. Jesus. Fine. Yeah. But yeah, so each of them has this like filler piece that's this like wooden piece to keep the trumpet straight. Oh yeah, here's the image of the guy playing it. But this has a gorgeous image right here of Tutankhamun. Oh look, a replica. That's very expensive. Oh, there's a book. Story of Ancient Egypt in 100 Objects. Interesting. All right. My back's starting to hurt. But yeah, I can add it as a sound alert. The whole thing. I know. I feel tired. No, I don't think so, because that goes the entire length of the it looks like a mute, but it goes the entire length of the trumpet, so it would not be able to be used as a mute, which you just like put back and forth on there. So I don't think so. Yeah, we talked about Agatha Christie a little bit, and Poirot. She had... I was gonna snooze the ad. I was gonna say, I thought a mute... I know there's mutes you can remove and quickly remove, though. I don't know. It goes the entire length of the trumpet, so, and it completely seals it. You can see, I know that, like, when I played the trombone, our mutes, if we had a mute, it doesn't fully encapsulate that, and it seems that thing is made perfectly to insert inside of it. The other thing about this is that those trumpets very well could have been made for his funeral, and not actually physically use. Like, because they're made out of silver and gold and silver and bronze, like, that is an indication that they may have just been made for his funeral. And so they only included that piece of wood to make sure it did not crush itself inside a chest with all of these walking sticks. And so that the actual trumpets may not have been made out of that. But we don't know because we only had that. Oh my God. Yes, I played the trombone for 1 year in 4th grade.